Tell me everything. All right. Let's wait until I forget another thing. Let's see. What's up to do? All right, cool. Hello, hello. That's why I keep it. Yeah, it's been a week. How have you guys been? It's been a week. Oh my goodness. Max have been such an interesting experience. So I find out on Tuesday if I made it to the upcoming round, which is cool. So I was talking to my girlfriend about this, about how if you have this path to like wanting something, and then while you're on the path, it's hard to like, not that you don't want to stay on it. It's just like things start pivoting for you. You're like, you know what? If this works itself out, I love that. We love it. If it doesn't, I'm also not concerned. You know, like I know I'm a natural beauty. I think a lot of people would agree. My goal, my intention was like a plot twist, do something fun, right? Like spice up your life a little bit. I'm not a model in a very long time. And then it was noticing like the lack of representation, like there weren't a lot of black women. And I'm just like, why are there not enough black women in this competition? Like I'm so confused. Like this is not making sense to me. And wanting to make sure that there was some type of representation. So now it's just like if I become Max's next natural beauty, let that for Max, and let that for me. If it doesn't happen, like such is life. I'll be okay with it. So like that's what it's been. But I ended up having another flare at the end of last week, and it just took me out. I'm just now coming back to myself. And I'm like, this summertime's gonna be crazy. So insane. It's so weird. I don't understand why women feel like looking. It's just like it does not make sense. It does not make sense. If we're talking about having a diverse and inclusive context, there should definitely be more black women. And the fact that there's not is so weird to me. Uh, but it has been a week. It has been a week. It's been a week. It's been a week. Regardless, though, we have 5 essays, and I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I don't know if we're gonna get through all 5 essays. I would like for us to get through all 5 essays. I'm hoping that we do. However, if we don't, I will just add whatever's extra to the notes, um, so that y'all have access to the information. She does a lot of talking in this chapter. I was like, girl, you are talking a lot. But I will also say she's saying some incredible things that I do agree with to a certain extent. There's some things where I'm like, you need nuance. We need to remember that everybody has the privilege that you have. And we'll talk about that in that time frame. But I do want to start so we can like jump in. I'm so excited. Okay. So, like I said, we're journeying through week 10 of the artist way. I'm very, very excited about it. It is recovering a sense of self protection. And going over this again, preparing for the week, preparing for this chapter throughout the week, it was super triggering. I'm just like, oh, wow, there's a lot here that I needed to revisit myself personally on my own journey as an artist. And having that be the case was interesting. I was just like, oh, wow, so much to forget. Hi, Southern Black Girl. Hi, everybody. Hi, Vicky. Hi, Kunja. Hi, Evie. So we're gonna get into it. It was a lot. Oh, you are having sound issues? Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Because I have you up here, so I'm not sure. Really? Oh my gosh. I just realized why. Why? Now you can hear me. Here we go. Hey, I have my headphones on, y'all. This is awkward. I'm very sorry about that. I should sound fine now. I should sound a-okay, right? Okay, good, 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 good. Cool. And hopefully here too, the sound is good. I really I really don't know. It may not be. Right? We're better now? Okay, cool. I'm so glad we figured that out before I started reading. That would have been so awkward. Okay. So if you're watching the replay, now we're about to get into it. Okay? We're about to get into it right now. Week 10, recovering a sense of self protection. This week, we explore the perils that can ambush us on our creative path. Because creativity is a spiritual issue, many of the perils are spiritual perils. In the essays, tasks, and exercises this week, we search out the toxic patterns we cling to that block our creative flow. So the 5 essays are Dangers of the Trail, Workaholism. That was a tough read for me. I'm not going to hold you. Drought, Fame, and Competition. I'm going to try to get through as much of it as I can. My goal is to end around 2:30, 2:45, the latest. So once we get to 2:30, whatever we're at, I will wrap it up and then we'll do our EFT. And then whatever's not done then, I'll just add to the notes so you guys have access to it, okay? Yeah, yeah, yeah. My headphones are, like, literally somewhere. I When I'm not on live, when I'm in my house, I usually have on, like, noise canceling headphones, and I'm, like, either listening to a book or listening to music or going over notes, so I forgot to disconnect them. Okay, let's do it. Recovering a sense of self-protection. Dangers of the trail. Creativity is God energy, divine energy, whatever you want to call it, flowing through us, shaped by us, like light flowing through a crystal prism. When we are clear about who we are and what we are doing, the energy flows freely and we experience no strain. When we resist what that energy might show us or where it might take us, we often experience a shaky, out of control feeling. We want to shut down the flow and regain our sense of control. We slam on the psychic brakes. Every creative person has a myriad of ways to block creativity. Each of us favors one or two ways particularly toxic to us because they block us so effectively. For some people, it's food. Eating sugar or fats may leave us feeling dulled, hungover, unable to focus. They use food to block energy and change. Then she also mentioned that for some people, it's alcohol. It's a favorite block. For many people, it could just be drug use. For many, it's work. That's where I was like, because I don't drink. I'm not. My relationship with food is thankfully healthy, but work with my Capricorn stellium, man, it really got me. For many, work is the block of choice. Busy, busy, busy. They grab for tasks and numb themselves. They can't make a half hour's walk. What a waste of time. Must do's and multiple projects are drawn to them like flies to a soda can in the sun. For others, an obsession with painful love places creative choice outside their hands. Reaching for the painful thought, they become instant victims rather than feel their own considerable power. If only they would just love me. This obsessive thought drowned out the little voice that suggests rearranging the living room, taking a pottery class, trying a new top on, trying on an outfit. Sometimes I'm like, girl, what are we talking about here? The minute a creative thought raises in its head, it is lopped off by the obsession, which blots fear and prevents risk. Going out dancing, redoing the whole play with an inner city theme, I go back to if only they loved me. Sex is also a great block for many. A mesmerizing, hypnotic interest slides novel erotic possibilities in front of the real novel. The new sex object becomes the focus for creative approaches. Now, note carefully that food, work, and sex are all good in themselves. It is the abuse of them that makes them creative issues. Knowing yourself as an artist means acknowledging which of these you abuse when you want to block yourself. If creativity is like a burst of the universe's breath through the straw that is each of us, we pinch that straw whenever we pick up one of our blocks. We shut down our flow and we do it on purpose. We begin to sense our real potential and the wide range of possibilities open up to us. That is scary. So we all reach for blocks to slow our growth. If we are honest with ourselves, we all know which blocks are toxic ones for fun. Clue. This is a block we defend as our right. Line up the possibilities. Which one makes you angry even thinking about giving up? That explosive one is the one that has caused you the most derailment. Examine it. When asked to name our poison, most of us can. Has it been food, work, sex, love, drugs? What has it been? That's what's blocking you. Hi. Hi, 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 hi. Okay. This right here is super important to know because I think a lot of us, we hear like drug use, right? That can be very not great for the body. Sex, you understand about sex addicts and their need to have that connectivity, that power sometimes, what it can really be what they're searching for. People struggle with food, with consumption. That's unfortunately a thing a lot of people struggle with, especially if you are someone who lives in the United States. Like overconsumption is like a real thing. We supersize everything. Like it's something to examine for sure. Work is so interesting because we value hard work, right? We value busting our ass. We value hustle and grind culture. So if that is the the ideal, right? It's like, oh, you're working super hard, you're not sleeping, you're not eating, but you're like getting your creativity out there, like you're a boss. That is dangerous. And we don't talk about that enough. She's gonna get into it here and I'm gonna get into it some more, but I just want us to take the time out to think. Out of the things that were listed, maybe there's something else that's more addictive to you. But sex, painful love, work, drugs, food. Which one are you using as a creative block? Just sit with that, make a note of it. It's super important. I know for me, it is most definitely work. I've been able to keep it cute with everything else I have. Yes. It's like when something good changes from mindful to compulsive, it gets unhealthy. Yes. Used to be working out. Working out is another one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Working out is a big distraction for a lot of people. That's a really good one to bring up. Thank you. Okay. Where we at? Mix and match is a common recipe for using blocks. Use one, add another, mix in a third, wear yourself out. The object of all this blocking is to alleviate fear. We turn to our drug of choice to block our creativity whenever we experience the anxiety of our inner emptiness. It is always fear, often disguised but always there, that leads us into grabbing for a block. Usually we experience the choice to block as a coincidence. They just happened to call. I felt hungry and there was some ice cream. They just dropped off some great drugs. This is in the book. I was just like, that's crazy. Wait, it's in the book. It's fine. The choice to block always works in the short run and fails in the long run. The choice to block is a creative U turn. We turn back on ourselves. Like water forced to stand still, we turn stagnant. The self honesty lurking in us always knows when we choose against our greater good. It marks a little jolt on our spiritual backboard. Do it again. Or did it again, excuse me. It takes grace and courage to admit and surrender our blocking devices. Who wants to? Not while they are still working. Of course, long after they have stopped working, we hope against hope that this time we will finally stop. Blocking is essentially an issue of faith. Rather than trust our intuition, our talent, our skill, our desire, we fear where our creator is taking us with this creativity. Rather than paint, write, dance, audition, and see where it takes us, we pick a block. Blocked, we know who and what we are. Unhappy people. Unblocked, we may be something much more threatening. Happy. For most of us, happy is terrifying, unfamiliar, out of control, and super risky. It is any wonder we take is it any wonder that we take temporary U-turns? So I was just talking about this one of my girlfriends. She's a home curator, and we were saying that both of our works and what we do, I help people clarify themselves via their energy, helping them to understand their dark feminine, helping them to really lean into the power that they have within them, right? And she does that through helping you organize your home life. Like so you when you come home, it actually feels like a home you want, like a sanctuary, right? Like an oasis. And we were saying that sometimes what we've noticed in the past is that some of our clients, when we get to the point where you're about to have that breakthrough, they all of a sudden something comes up. They get sick, there's an issue in their relationship, something happens, and they no longer want to continue moving forward. And when you are a practitioner and you really care about your work and what you do, having moments like that is like really jarring because it's like I thought we were on the same page that we were going to, get through this together and make your house a home or help you really stand in your power and your confidence. But what I've come to realize being a practitioner for over 10 years now is that some people really cannot handle happiness. some people really do not have it in them to be genuinely happy people. Some people's baseline is misery, stress, pain. And some people naturally have a higher baseline where they can take more joy, more happiness. I knew for myself when I was younger, my baseline for living was like I was just getting through emotions. Life was painful, life was difficult, it was hard, and that was just life. Oh well. Keep going, you know? I had that type of mentality. I had to actively work on expanding my ability to receive and engage with joy. And it was not an easy task. It is something that to this day I still have to intentionally navigate. It's so easy for me to accept struggle and pain because a lot of my identity as a person, as a Black woman, as a woman from New York City, like there's so living with autoimmune disorders, like the list goes on and on to justify why I can handle struggle and pain. Even if we go into like human design, you look at my chart, like my struggle gate is open. If you know HD, you know what I'm talking about. Like I'm built to struggle, AKA I'm built to endure. But when that is your baseline, that's really what you know intimately. And then the opposite of that is to feel good, is to not struggle, is to like rest, to take care of your body, take care of your mind, your spirit, to laugh more. There's an immense amount of guilt that comes with experiencing joy. There's also a lot of um, it feeling unfamiliar to you and not making you afraid. Because again, your mind, your brain, the way that it works, it just wants you to feel safe. Even if that means that you are in situations that you know are unhealthy and harmful, you know what type of harm you're getting yourself into. That to your brain is like, okay, you're safe. Because you living at peace, we don't know what that looks and feels like. That feels dangerous. Like our brains are not rational. And it's so interesting when people like be logical about this thing. Like your brain, that's not even how it operates at all. It's very much like, we know this is safer. That's it. Period. Done. So you have to build up your capacity to receive joy and happiness. And many of us don't actively do that. I think a lot of us struggle with that. That understanding that I can be at peace in life, that the other shoe is not about to drop. A lot of us are severely traumatized navigating through life. As a trauma-informed practitioner, that is one of the things that I ultimately know. Everyone has trauma. No matter if we consider it big or small, and whatever it is, everyone has trauma. And because we all endure some form of trauma, we have to have a level of understanding that joy and happiness sometimes feels like it's not for us. Let me know if that makes sense. Okay? Yes, trying to expand my capacity for joy. Same here, same here. Like feeling safe because unsafe is default, familiar for a long time. Exactly. Yeah, it's simply because you know it. Like I know what it's like being in this space. Like, am I happy? Absolutely not. No. But like I'm used to the pain. I'm used to the heartache. I know when I first left living at my mom's house, it was a very like volatile situation. Um, and I had like my first space outside of living with her when I was like conscious, because I had moved out when I was 17. I was constantly trying to get out of the house. It was just like, I cannot continue to stay here and survive. This is going to be, I'm not, I can't do this. So when I finally got to a space where I was like financially stable, living on my own, had like a really cool roommate, things like that, I struggled with feeling safe. Like coming home and not wondering if I had to manage someone's emotions, wondering if I had to um like find a place to go. Like all of those things I was so used to for so long. When I would open the door to my apartment and just walk in, I was just like, wait, no one's about to yell at me. No one's about to make me feel uncomfortable or it was I remember breaking down and crying and talking to like one of my big sisters and just telling her, and she's like, girl, like this is the first time where you felt genuinely safe. It makes so much sense that this is uncomfortable for you. Like you're so used to being in unsteady environments and having to fight tooth and nail it would make sense that right now this is jarring for you, but you have to practice being comfortable with being safe and being happy. And that was a candid moment in my wellness of being like, oh, I don't actually know how to be happy. I don't actually know how to experience joy or hold it or care for it or let it hold and care for me. That is so far out my wheelhouse. I'm a lot better at it now, like 10 times better at it. But prior to that, yeah. So if you're somebody, you're listening to this and you're like, yo, I realize I struggle with pleasure or joy, it's time for you to start exploring what that looks like for you. Because if you are looking to be an artist, if you're looking to expand yourself and show your creativity and do all these beautiful things, you're going to have to be okay with feeling good. You're going to have to get comfortable with feeling pleasure. And if you don't, you're going to constantly look for those blocks when things start to feel like you're growing and stretching and that discomfort comes up. You're going to keep going to those things that block you. You're not going to have enough endurance or confidence to say, actually, I'm good on that. Actually, I don't need to go and see that person so that we can have a cute little romp in the sheets so I can get a boost of energy. I don't need that. Actually, I can just take that sexual energy that I have and put it into my creativity because they're one and the same. I don't need to go and work out until I'm exhausted and then I don't have enough energy to go and do my creative work. I don't need to overwork myself to the point where I don't have time to do my creative work. I can consciously and confidently make these decisions to say, I'm good on this. I don't need to be blocked anymore. That is something that I'm hoping through this journey that we're on together, we'll be able to get more comfortable in doing. Okay. 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 It takes grace and courage to admit and surrender our blocking devices, right? We talked about that part. Blocking is essentially an issue of faith rather than trust our intuition, our talent, our skill, our desire, we fear. Yeah. Okay. As we become aware of our blocking devices, we can feel our U-turns as we make them. The blocks will no longer work effectively. Over time, we will try, perhaps slowly at first and erratically, to ride out the anxiety and see where we emerge. Anxiety is fuel. We can use it to write with, paint with, work with. I want to say something about anxiety and excitement because in the body, anxiety and excitement are the exact same thing. I know people are like, "What? Whatever do you mean?" Like, and I'm not talking about clinical anxiety when you've been diagnosed. That's a different experience, and we're not talking about that right now. But feeling anxious and feeling excited show up in the body. They let the same sensors in the brain and in the body. The only thing that makes it different is how you interpret the energy. That's it. Once I learned that, a lot of things that make or had made me anxious shifted to excitement. It's like, oh, I'm actually not anxious. I'm just excited. It is the same energy. There's no difference. You can do your research on this. And if it has changed, please let me know because neuroscience is always changing all the time. However, from what I'm aware of and what I've been studying for the past couple of years, they show up in the brain the same way. It is literally how we interpret it. And if you are feeling safe, if you have a regulated nervous system, if you're comfortable with pleasure and joy, 9 times out of 10, that feeling will feel like excitement before it feels like anxiousness. Now, the reverse is true too. If you're used to feeling unsafe, if you're used to being dysregulated, you're going to always think that that feeling is anxiousness. But when you know better, you can then do better. So I'm hoping that now that you understand it's the same feeling, when you come up to that road again and you feel like, I feel anxious, I really want you to ask yourself, do you feel anxious or are you dysregulated right now? If you are, drink some water, get some rest, be around somebody that helps you to feel safer, and then see how do you feel about that energy. And it'll probably turn into excitement because that burst that you're getting is to help that revving in the heart and like, I got to do something with this energy. It's for you to pour into your art. It's not supposed to destabilize you, but it will if you're dysregulated. Let me know if that makes sense. Okay. Yes. 100% reminds me of driving automatic car after a long time manual shift, feeling strange, not having the clutch pedal and shift to work. Yes. Yes. The physical sensations are the same. Yes. 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 Okay. Great. So that was the first essay on just understanding that fear is going to come up when it's time for us to experience joy. And we have to do our best to make sure that we're not using our vices to distract us from the fact that we are evolving and growing and that we do have what it takes to express our creativity. Okay. Second essay is called Workaholism. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, I felt triggered. I felt triggered. The Capricorn stellium in me, I felt very triggered. I felt very seen in a way I didn't enjoy. And we're gonna talk about that. So if you're someone that struggles with worth, I'm right here with you. I'm right here with you. Okay? All right. Workaholism is an addiction. And like all addictions, it blocks creative energy. In fact, it could be argued that the desire to block the fierce flow of creative energy is an underlying reason for addiction. If people are too busy to write morning pages or too busy to take an artist date, they are probably too busy to hear the voice of authentic creative urges. To return to the concept of a radio set, the workaholic jams the signals with self-induced static. Only recently recognized as an addiction. Again, this book came out 30 years ago. So this is a well-known common thing now. Okay. Workaholism still receives a great deal of support in our society. The phrase "I'm working" has a certain unassailable air of goodness and duty to it. The truth is, we are very often working to avoid ourselves, our spouses, our real feelings, our responsibilities. Hi, beautiful. In creative recovery, it is far easier to get people to do the extra work of the morning pages than it is to get them to do the assigned play as an artist date. Play can make a workaholic very nervous. Fun is scary. Damn. Feel like I'm outing myself right now. If I had more time, I'd have more fun. We like to tell ourselves, but this is a seldom truth. To test the validity of the assertion, ask yourself how much time you allot each day or each week for fun. Pure, unadulterated, non-productive fun. For most Block creatives, fun is something they avoid almost as much as they do their creativity. Why? Fun leads to creativity, it leads to rebellion, it leads to feeling our own power. And that is scary. I may have a small problem with overwork, we like to tell ourselves, but I am not really a workaholic. She gives us a quiz that I'm going to put in the free notes so that we can save time because you have some essays to get through. But I want you to take this quiz. Please take the quiz and then tell me what your results are. I took this quiz and I was big mad when I realized, like, oh, girl, you're a workaholic. I I hate that for you. I just retook this quiz this morning, by the way. I'm a lot better. I'm definitely recovering. But oh my goodness, was I workaholic? And because I love what I do for my work, it can be very confusing to differentiate when I am doing more than I need to. And that is something that we're going to talk about, I think, a bit more in a later essay. I do feel like for me, that stems from being a Black woman and having, I tell you guys this all the time. I had a conversation before I started school with my mom, and she was just kind of like, as a Black girl, you got to do like 3 times the amount of work to be seen. And that really planted a seed of being an overachiever, which ultimately turned into workaholism. Like, I I was so hell bent on being seen that meant that I had to be the best, right? And in order for me to be the best, I have to put in more work. I was there before everybody else. I was the last one to leave. All the cute little cliches that you see in all the movies when someone's changing their lives, that was me in real life. But like as a fucking student, like as a kid, I'm out here like doing the most, working harder than my teacher to better understand things because I was like, I exist. I exist. I'm a living, breathing person. And if that means that you can't see me because of my Blackness or my womanhood, I'm gonna have to show you that I exist. And not only do I exist, I'm brilliant. Not only am I brilliant, I'm kind and wonderful. And now I have to do all this extra work just so that you can see something that should be really clear to you because I'm a human being. That conversation with my mom before kindergarten really messed me up. It allowed me to receive a lot of awards. I have tons of like presidential awards for all in my mom's house somewhere collecting dust. None of those awards mean anything to me. I did them because I thought if I did not get these awards, if I did not set these precedents, if I did not go above and beyond, I would not exist. That's a terrifying thing to know, to even think about. And I know that I'm not the only Black woman who has had that conversation at all, who has even had that understanding of like, are y'all trying to act like I'm not here? Like, wait a minute. Wait, whoa, 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 whoa. Not only am I here, I'm that girl, you know? And it was a lot for me to get past that. It took a lot of my 20s to be okay with the fact that naturally, naturally Black women are excellent. It's a survival skill more than it is anything else. And if y'all disagree with me, please let me know in the chat because from what I've observed as a Black woman myself, being raised by them, but also being a practitioner to so many throughout my years of practice, when I hear what a Black woman has going on in their lives, I'm just like, yo, that's a lot. You know, like that's a lot. And you're doing all this and you're still like, well, how can I do more? Maybe I need another degree. And it's like, girl, no, you actually don't need any of that. What we need to do is figure out when that seed was planted, that we would not be enough. Sometimes it's given to us in preparation for what we're going to experience in society. Other times we experience it from other people disregarding our genius because of who we are and how we present ourselves. And they were like, oh, you have me messed up. Now I got to show up and show out. Now I got to really remind y'all what I'm really about. And then when you have that first win and you keep going, keep going, keep going, it becomes a regular, it becomes a habit. You don't even know that you're doing it. Sometimes I remind myself, like, girl, you can be at your own pace. You do not need to go this hard all the time. You have to have and build a deep level of disassociation. Of like, you know what? You got it. Like, if you don't think that I'm wonderful and incredible, that's totally fine. That's cool. But I know that I'm wonderful. I know that I'm enough. And I don't need anyone's outside validation to prove that for me at all. Either you get it and you see the genius and you see the wonder and the magic and you are appreciative that you get to see it and engage with it, or you don't. And like, okay, like I don't know what you want me to do about that. I'm not about to sit here and convince you. I spent like my childhood doing that. I'm not ever doing that again. Like it's never happening. And to be at that space, it's so liberating as an artist because when you're out here showing your work, you really don't give a fuck. It's like if you don't get it, you don't get it, babes. And that's totally cool. You're not changing my perception of self because you don't understand my art. It's just not for you. And I want us all to get to that space without having to go through that long journey if necessary. Let me know if that makes sense. Okay. Hi, Sierra. Hi, Eva. Hello, hello, hello. Literally my life overworking, but it's because I love what I do. But it does get to a point. Yeah. Yeah. Like I love what I do. What? Talking about metaphysics, the ability to digest how magic is real in the world. Like, I grew up on Charmed, Harry Potter. I live for this type of stuff. I love it. It feels like validating all these things that I knew in my heart as a child were real, but I just did not know how to get other people to understand that. I love it. It's exhilarating. But I can take it a little too far. I get a little obsessive with my work. I get a little crazy. And because I'm like that, I'm constantly being praised for it. I have friends now in a community that's just like, girl, you're doing too much. And I needed that. But when I was younger in school, I was praised. Unfortunately, in a lot of situations, I was the token Black girl because of how much I loved what I was doing. It was like, you're like this role model now. You know what I mean? Like, you guys need to be like her. And it kind of disgusts me now. Like, even thinking about it, it's just like, oh, wow, that was just a lot of pressure to put on a child. But I just loved it so much. I loved writing. I loved writing. I would write all the time, write songs, write poetry, write story. I loved it. I genuinely have a deep love for the work that I do. But I also know that there needs to be boundaries so that I'm not overdoing it. for sure. Yeah, those extra work montage in the movie. Yeah, yep, that's me. Hello, hello, hello. Appreciate you sharing this, Lotus. I love your insight and ability to share the experience. Thank you, thank you. No more proving. We contain multitudes. Exactly. Yeah. No more proving. I'm not proving shit to you. Like, if you don't see it, it wasn't meant for you. That's how I am now. You didn't need to see it. And that's okay. You saw what you need to see. But no one else validates my humanity or my experience anymore. And I'm so happy I'm in a space where that's a true thing for me. Okay. All right. In order to recover our creativity, we must learn to see workaholism as a block instead of a building block. Work abuse creates in our artists a Cinderella complex. We are always dreaming of the ball and always experiencing the ball and chain. There's a difference between zestful work towards a cherished goal and workaholism. The difference lies less in the hours than it does in the emotional quality of the hours spent. There's a treadmill quality to workaholism. We depend on our addiction and we resent it. For a workaholic, work is synonymous with worth. And so we are hesitant to let go of any part of it. In striving to clear the way for our creative flow, we must look at our work habits very clearly. We may not think we may not think we overwork until we look at the hours we put in. We may think our work is normal until we compare it with a normal 40-hour week. That is what got me to when I realized I was working like damn near 80 hours a week. I was like, this is insane. One way to achieve clarity about our time is to keep a daily checklist and record our time spent. Even an hour of creative work or play can go a long way towards offsetting the sense of workaholic desperation that keeps our dreams at bay. Because workaholism is a process addiction, an addiction to a behavior rather than a substance, it is difficult to tell when we are indulging in it. An alcoholic gets sober by abstaining from alcohol. A workaholic gets sober by abstaining from overwork. The trick is to define overwork, and this is where we often lie to ourselves, bargaining to hold on to those abusive behaviors that still serve us. In order to guard against rationalization, it is very useful to set a bottom line. Each person's bottom line is different, but should specifically mention those behaviors known to be off limits. These specific behaviors make for a more immediate recovery than a vague generic resolve to do better. So if you really have no time, you need to make some room. It's more likely, however, that you have the time and are misspending it. Your time log will help you find those areas where you need to create boundaries. I wanted to say right here what a boundary is so that people are not confused. A boundary is for you. It is never for anybody else. I know a lot of, I'm always like whitewashing and wellness, but it really is a thing, y'all. It really is an epidemic. We have been taught that boundaries keep other people out. That's not true. That's a barrier. That's not a boundary. A boundary makes sure that you are safe. The best way that I can do it is through a visual. For me, the way my boundaries are, they're like this really cute white picket fence, right? That covers my yard, my home. And if you are invited, you can come in and get a little closer, right? If you are not invited, stay your ass outside that damn fence. Because if you come in or you try to go against that fence or try to sneak yourself in, big attack dog waiting for you. I don't play with my boundaries because they are what keep me safe. They keep me and my space safe, my internal space, my internal home. I need to know that you respect my boundary. You respect my little fence. It's not a brick wall that you can't see through. You can interact with me. I might even come to the fence, talk to you. However, if I don't want you in my home, you're not coming in my home. And that is how we need to look at boundaries. Having that visual is like so much more easier because I can ask myself, am I creating a brick wall or like, cute little fence? This is my space for me. Everything outside is not my business. I don't know if that's your home. But everything inside this little fence, this is for me to feel safe. My trees, my gardens, all for me. And if I want to invite you in, if I feel like you're going to respect what I've created for myself, then you can come closer. My boundaries vary from person to person as well, because certain people I feel safer with and certain people I don't. For people I don't feel safe with, it probably does feel more like a brick wall. It is what it is. But for people that I do feel safe with, I know that they can come in and take care of me and care for what I've created. But also, too, they can get me to understand that maybe I do want to expand my boundaries a bit more. Maybe I actually do feel a little bit more safer because it's not supposed to be like a solid thing. Your boundaries are going to grow with you as you evolve. They're not permanent. They should mold because as you have more life and more experience, you're going to realize like, oh, this is actually not something that's gonna make me feel unsafe. So I'm cool with this. Or it's not even in my frequency anymore. I will never have to deal with this. So I can open up a bit more. Let me know if that makes sense. Okay. Let's see. Yes, yes, charm. Yes, love charmed. Right. It's his childhood. Yep. Yes. Yes. Sacred space. Did I miss something? No, no, no. Okay. Yeah, it's a sacred space. Boundary for you to be safe. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not about other people. Big attack dragons. Yes. Khaleesi. Yes, yes, yes. For me, wolf is a nice wolf that does not play about me at all. She's about that life. She will tear you apart if need be and not lose any sleep over it whatsoever. So I strongly suggest that we respect each other's boundaries because there is something there to enforce if need be. And if I have to constantly enforce my boundary with you, I'm not going to talk to you no more. You're not about to be coming up. No, because you're not about to wear my wolf out either. Like, I'm not about to have imbalance in my internal home. Like, no. You see the sign, you know that it's there, respect it. If I invite you in, great. If I don't invite you in, respect that too. And that's also fine. And I feel like the more that you have healthy boundaries for yourself, it becomes very easy for you to see boundaries for other people. It almost becomes an intuitive practice where you can just see, like, okay, she's a little sensitive about that. Let me either ask for clarity or let me respect that and let her invite me in or let them invite me in. Super important for us to know that, especially when it comes to our creative journey. We all need to have boundaries, but it's not about controlling other people. It's about making sure that you feel safe in your internal environment. Okay? Yes, exactly. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's go on to the next essay, which is drought. Very interesting essay. Let me know if you have any questions about these other two essays too. If anything came up that you want to share, that you need more clarity on, please let me know. I'm always checking in the chat to make sure that like I'm answering any questions or sharing any insights that I can share. All right, drought. In any creative life, there are dry seasons. Man, whew, I don't know, that hit me. These droughts appear from nowhere and stretch to the horizon like a Death Valley vista. Life losses life loses its sweetness. Our work feels mechanical, empty, and forced. We feel we have nothing to say and we are tempted to say nothing. These are the times when the morning pages are most difficult and most valued. During a drought, the mere act of showing up on the page, like the act of walking through a trackless desert, requires one foot fall after another to no apparent point. Doubts saddle up to us and say, what's the use? Or what did you expect? Droughts tell us that they will last forever and that we will not. A haunting anticipation of our own death and approaching long before we are ready for it, long before we've done anything of value, shimmers ahead of us like a mirage. What do? We stumble on. And how do we do that? We stay on the morning pages. Again, for people who don't know what morning pages are, I say something daily where you are detoxing the mind. So whether you're writing it out, you're using a voice note, you're doing video, the point is spend like 5 to 10 minutes every morning when you first wake up, getting these thoughts out of your mind, no matter what they are. The point is to just get clarity in the body so that all this extra stuff is not stored within you. That's what we mean. That's what I mean when I say morning pages, so that we're clear on that. Okay. This is not a rule for writers only. Though the pages have nothing to do with writing, they're really about all art forms. For all creative beings, the morning pages are a lifeline, the trail we explore and the trail home to ourselves. During a drought, the morning pages seem both painful and foolish. They feel like empty gestures, like making breakfast for the lover we know is going to leave us anyhow. Hoping against hope that we will someday be creative again, we go through the motions. Our consciousness is parched. We cannot feel so much as a trickle of grace. During a drought, during a doubt, I just accurately wrote with a slip of my finger. Sometimes she talks to herself in the book. We are fighting with God. We have lost faith in the creator and in our creative selves. We have some bone to pick, and bones to pick are everywhere. This is the desert of the heart. Looking for a hopeful sign, all we see are the hulking remains of dreams that died along the path. And yet we write our morning pages because we must. During a drought, emotions are dried up like water. They may exist somewhere underneath, but we have no access to them. A drought is a tearless time of grief. We are between dreams, too listless to even know our losses. We put one page after another, more from habit than hope. Droughts are terrible. Droughts hurt. Droughts are long, airless seasons of doubt that make us grow, give us compassion, and blossom unexpectedly as a desert with sudden flowers. Droughts do end. Droughts end because we have kept writing our pages. They end because we have not collapsed to the floor of our despair and refused to move. We have doubted, yes, but we have stumbled on. In a creative life, droughts are necessary. The time in a desert brings us clarity and charity. When we are in a drought, know that it is to a purpose and to keep writing morning pages. To write is to write things, write as in RIGTH. Sooner or later, always later than we like. I don't agree with that. Our pages will bring things right. A path will emerge. An insight will be a landmark that shows the way out of the wilderness. Dancer, sculptor, actor, painter, playwright, poet, perform artist, potter, artist, all, whoever you consider yourself to be. The morning pages are both our wilderness and our trail. One thing I want to say about this that I did, whenever I struggle on morning pages, I write every day in my journal because I need to. I actually become a crash out queen when I do not write in my journal every day. Like it gets really scary for everybody when I'm not writing. It's just not a great experience. And you can tell I have like shorter patience and everything. I'm hyper aware of myself. So when I am feeling a little stuck on what to write, what I do now is I find a book that really resonates with me, a book that I've read a few times, a book that I can go back to, and I'll just start rereading it. I set a timer. I call it 11 minutes with God. That's just what I call it. And I set my time for 11 minutes. And for those 11 minutes, I'm reading the book. Wherever it stops and the timer goes off and where it stops. And then I recap what I learned from that material. And every time I do that, the clarity, like it's like a shortcut to get out of a drought. If you feel like you've been in a drought for a long time, that is one of the best ways to do that. A book that I love to do that with is Woman Who Wrote the Wolves. I literally have it. I've started doing that this week. Y'all know how my book looks. I started going through this again. I'm just like, I read this book so many times. I had this book for over a decade. I read this book so many times, and every time I read it, I'm just like, how did I not see this? This is important information. I can't wait to share my insights on this next year. But doing that helps me get back into writing on morning pages. So I'll write whatever insights came up for me. And then after I do that, all of a sudden I'm just in the mode to start writing. Like I'm just I'm writing until I'm done. And it's a great way to get you into continuing on. So even if you read some pages and then you talk about it in your video or you voice note what comes up for you, you will naturally start putting pieces together and it will help you maintain that practice. We need the practice as artists. We have to stop thinking we have an idea and then it's here. That is just it's just dangerous. It's harmful and it's unnecessary. It's a misuse of our genius and our energy to constantly assume the minute we get an idea, we have to, in that moment, bring it to life, or we are terrible human beings and we don't deserve our gifts. Stop. Time's a concept. Stop letting that whitewashing, that wellness, that hustle and grind energy corrupt your creative process. I don't want to hear it no more. Okay? Like we're evolving past that. It's super important for us to take the time out to let go. Like let go. What is the purpose of keeping all that in your head? When we could put it in journals, put it in videos, put it in audio, and revisit it when needed. Especially if you're constantly worrying about something, if you're anxious about something, if you're angry or irritated, why do you want those thoughts to stay up here? when you have access and resources that are willing to hold it. My journal don't feel no way about how I feel. I can be as angry as I want to, scratch up the book if I need to, and I'm gonna find release once I'm done. My book is fine. It can handle that. My videos are fine. My audios they're gonna be okay. But I'm gonna be the one that feels that relief of like, oof, it's out of my head now. Now I can think clearly. Now I connect the mind with the body and I can move forward in my creative process. This is why I'm always talking about morning pages. That is the term in which Julia comes up with, whatever the hell you want to call it that. The point is, every day, give yourself the respect and the grace to empty your mind as a creative. So that way you can move forward from a space of clarity. Please let me know if that makes sense. Okay? Let's see. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you, Jack. The morning pages feel like going through the motions. Yes, yes, yes. We need that practice. The practice is helpful. Yes, I'm here to read with you. Yay, yes. Example. Yes, thank you, thank you. Yes. Got on my shelf. It is a classic book. I love that book. I have a lot of classics, but that was the book that called to me. My books speak to me. I don't know if your books talk to you, but my books will they will talk to me. I will walk past one and be like, girl, come pick me up and come to this page. And I'll be like, I already read you. Like, yeah, come read about me. Come see about me because I have some information for you. Like, yeah, you read this a few years ago, but like, let's read it again. Cause you seem to have forgotten the information. That's okay. That's why I'm here to remind you. Like, I have that type of intimacy with reading, with books, and it's so helpful because when I get to that point where I feel like I'm in a drought, and for me, I'm governed by water. Water is my element. It is where I feel nourished and cared for. So for me to be in a drought, I feel bitter, misaligned. It's a death. It's a very slow death. And sometimes you need that in life. Sometimes you need to have those deaths and those rebirths. It's a part of your creative process. It's a part of your life, whether you think you're creative or not. So having those moments where I feel like I'm dying and I'm searching for water, I always find that nourishment, that quenching of my thirst through my literature, through my books, through my writing, through my practice. And if I'm not finding it in my books, I'm finding it on my mat when I'm moving my body. If I'm not finding it on my mat, I find it in my altars when I'm talking to my people, to my ancestors, to the deities that cover me, when I'm talking to my higher self. But we have those options to help us get through those droughts. I know she's really pushing morning pages, and I do agree because I think that's important. But any practice that you have that's going to nourish you, make sure you're doing it every single day. This is also how you fortify your aura to ensure that when you leave the house and you engage with other people and their energy, that y'all are on the same frequency. I want you to take note over the next week. And let's say you don't do your morning pages for a day. For the sake of an experiment, go and do it. And then don't do it for one day and see how your day goes. Because I've done this myself too. Because when I was first practicing this, I'm like, girl, I'm not going to do this every damn day. You got me messed up. I have things to do. Again, workaholic. And when I did that for 3 days, I didn't do any morning pages, roughly 3 days of my life. Because I'm just like, I have all this going on in my head, and you talking to me crazy? like, wait, what? We can't have that. We cannot have that. Actually, I'm about to turn up. But when I go to the morning pages, when I do my self care, when I do my practice, and then someone decides that they want to get a little crazy with me, somehow we may run into each other, which is very rare. I can't even tell you how rare it is for me to find people that I'm misaligned with. It is so rare. It is so rare to the point where if I find someone that we don't blend together well, it's usually through like one of my homegirls because it's one of their people. Like it's so far removed from me. And then even with that, it's just like that might be like an old friend that they had kept around because they know me. They know how I am. They know my energy and they respect that. Like that is how rare it is for me now. But on the occasion that I meet someone and they are a little off, I have a lot more patience. it's easier for me to remember the humanity because I've cleared out my mind from all of the worry and the complaining and the frustration that I may have carried from the day before. And I am now two parts because it's coming up for me and I want to share it in this way. First part is emptying the mind, do the morning pages, documenting, letting all that go, all that stuff. Then I'm emptied. Then it's like, well, how do I fill myself up? I usually do that through my self-care practice. That's usually praying, going to my altar, a really good playlist. Music means a lot to me, moving my body. That is how I fill up that space once I've cleared it out. And then when I'm going to interact with people, I'm coming from that space of being filled, right? We talked about this in week 9 of what enthusiasm means, being filled with God. I'm coming from that space of being filled with God. And then I'm communicating with you. It's a completely different experience. You can tell when somebody is filled with divinity, filled with source, took that time out to nourish their vessel, and they're talking to you. Their level of comprehension is different. The way that they show up, their level of compassion is different. They are willing to look at you as a human being, but also see your higher self and be in communion with both. That is not an easy thing to do. It requires a lot of patience and tact and practice. But when you are able to do that for yourself and do that for others, it really does change the vibration of your life. And I want that for all of us. Okay? Um, yes, wow, I never thought of it that way. Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Letting the garden live follow is necessary in any garden. Yes, yes. Celestine talk to you. All the time. That book is always talking to me. Sometimes I'm like, girl, not now. But Celestine Prophecy, No Mud, No Lotus, Sacred Woman, I gotta be like, I don't have time today, Queen of Four. Please, please. And then I open the book up and I'm like, wow, I don't think I've read this part before. What is this? This is crazy. Every single time. I love it. Yes, it's spiritual work, not spiritual easy. Right, right, right. Sierra, I love that. Any practice that you have that really nourishes you. Yes, yes, yes. I sit with spirit at least 5 minutes a day, every morning, real early. A lot comes out of that time. Yeah, yeah. I'm assuming you do it during sacred hours too, like when the veil is very thin. That's an assumption. If I'm wrong, just tell me. Yeah. It's always people outside your network. Always. I'm like, how did you get here? Please don't think that the love of my sister will extend over to you. Only but a little bit. She knows how I get down. She can only protect you but so much. Please. Like, I have to remind people, like, what? Like, no, we have different levels of empathy and comprehension. I, I'm not about that life. Don't get on my nerves. Don't do that. Please. Please. Yes, thank you, Jack, for the notes. Emptying the mind first, and then mindfully refilling. Yes, yes, yes. Space of being filled. Yes. You can tell when someone is filled with divinity. Yes, you can. You really can. There's just, they glow first and foremost. They have like this glow about them. And when you're in their energy, it's like a deep breath. Like, okay. You'll know if you're filled with source, and I'll say this because I know a lot of empath jokes about this. They joke about this a lot. Um, when people just kind of come up to you and just start telling you about their life, people are like, that's like bad spiritual hygiene. It also just means that they see the divine in you. And they're like, you're probably the closest I'm gonna get to source. And I gotta get this out some way, somehow. Like, please, please. That also is a sign where people just are like, something about you is telling me that I'm safe here. Right. And then again, you can have that. I have people come and tell me stories all the time about their lives. I'm like, first off, I really want to just thank you for, finding me worthy enough to share that story with you. And depending on the caliber of the story, if I'm like, this is more of like we need to put this in the consultation, or, I'm a practitioner, let me tell you that information, yes. Or if it's information I could just naturally give that's going to help, like check out this book, or there's a really cool podcast on that, I'll share that information, keep it going, because that's also a part of the human experience, is to converse with each other. It's not to feel like your time is being wasted, or that you have bad spiritual hygiene because people are coming up to you because they can see that you are filled with something that they may be lacking in that moment. Sometimes just having that conversation with them changes their lives. It takes like 5 seconds of your time. If it's taking more time and energy from you, or you feel yourself being drained, then that might be a sign of stepping up your spiritual hygiene. But I don't ever feel drained when people come up to me and tell me their stories. I'm just like, yeah, that makes sense. I am a safe space. Here's some information. Do with that what you will. And I keep it going. Because I would like to think that if there is ever a time that I need that, that it will find me. It's like a pay it forward, right? Um, yeah, the Celsius main character gets on everybody's nerves. He is truly just, uh, he he's on everybody's nerves. Sometimes I just be like, you just be doing so much and then nothing at all. It don't be making sense. Just so you're not spiritual easy. Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. I figured, Eva. I figured. Sarah would like to hear more about spiritual easy. Yes, that's so true. Yeah, like, and that's cool. There's nothing. I think sometimes in the wellness community, we get so wrapped up in the fact that we have found a way to be accessible to divinity, like we're like locked in like that. We neglect humanity, and it's like, baby, we are dual in nature, right? Hood and holy, street and spiritual. I'm righteous and ratchet. I am both of those things. Equally so. Sometimes more hood than holy. However, both of those things exist in my vessel. I have access to both of them. Depending on the experience, situation, you might get one more than the other, but I don't neglect either because both of them together are what give you me. Like, it's both of those experiences. When I first became a reverend, I remember having this conversation with a few different spiritual practitioners. And they're just kind of like, like you don't seem like a woman of the cloth. And I'm just like, I don't understand that. First off, what does that mean? Clarify yourself. What? What's happening here? And we would have these conversations. And by the time we were done talking, they're like, you really open up my perspective on what it means to um, be a person. And I'm like, I just became a reverend, you know, um, a year or two ago. But I've always been a girl from New York City. So you're gonna definitely see that. And I'm not gonna negate who I am because of a new title. The title just helps me to reach other people in different spaces. However, I am still first and foremost a girl from the Bronx. Grew up in Queens, Brooklyn, Harlem. That's that is me. And then I also do have this ability to connect to source in a way that makes very esoteric conversations and information more digestible to folks. They both live within me. I'm not going to negate one for the other so that you can think that I'm a credible person. I don't care if you think I'm credible or not. Like, it doesn't matter to me. And having that ability to do so is really important. I just want us to remember that. So I say all that to say, like, when you're talking about a creative drought, there are ways to get out of one. I just wanted to make sure that we clarify what those ways were. So when we move forward, because one thing I will say about this book in particular, and about a lot of books that have a spiritual undertone, you tend to read about it either right after it's happened to you or right before it's about to happen to you. So I don't know where you're at in your phase, but you're probably going to come up on a moment of drought, either in the near future or you're just getting out of it, or you might be in the thick of it right now. Use this information to navigate it so that you can have a different outcome, a different experience. Okay? Yes. Yes, 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 yes. I'm very hood and holy. I say it all the time. Like, hood and holy, baby. Like, don't ever think that I'm not. One second, guys. Okay. All right. Cool. Next essay. Fame. Fame is a cute little essay. It's like one page. We'll be fine. And then where are we at on time? We're doing good on time, y'all. Look at us. I love this for us. Okay. Fame. Fame encourages us to believe that if it hasn't happened yet, it won't happen. Of course, it is fame. Fame is not the same as success. And in our true souls, we know that. We know and have felt success at the end of a good day's work. But fame, it's addictive and it always leaves us hungry. Fame, she says it's a spiritual drug. I say it's more like a societal drug. I don't know if I agree with that term. I know why she says that. I don't agree with it. I say it's more of a societal drug. It is often a byproduct of our artistic work, but like a nuclear waste, it can be a very dangerous byproduct. Fame, the desire to attain it, the desire to hold on to it, can produce the how am I doing syndrome. This question is not, is the work going well? This question is, how does it look to them, the people outside of you and your creativity? The point of the work is the work. Fame interferes with that perception. Instead of acting and being about acting, it becomes about being a famous actor. Instead of writing and being about writing, it becomes about being recognized, not just published. We all like to credit where credit is due. We should. As artists, we don't always get it. Yet, focusing on fame, on whether we are getting enough, creates a continual feeling of lack. There's never enough of the fame drug. Wanting more will always snap at our heels, discredit our accomplishments, erode our joy at another one's accomplishments. To test this theory, read any of the famous fan magazines and see if afterwards your life somehow feels more shabby, less worthwhile. This is the fame drug at work. I don't feel this way, but this is what she said. Remember, treating yourself like a precious object will make you strong. When you have been toxified by the fame drug, you need to detox by coddling yourself. What's in order here is a great deal of gentleness and some behavior that makes you like yourself. Sending postcards is a great trick. Again, just keep in mind it's 30 years ago. Okay. Mail one to yourself that says you're doing great is a very nice, it is very nice to get fan letters from ourselves. In the long run, fan letters from ourselves and our creative self are what we are really after. Fame is really short. Fame is really a shortcut for self approval. Try approving of yourself just as you are and spoiling yourself rotten with small kid pleasures. What we are really scared of is that without fame, we won't be loved as artists or as people. The solution to this fear is concrete, small, loving actions. We must actively, consciously, consistently, and creatively nurture our artist selves. When the fame drug hits, go to your easel, your typewriter, your camera, or your clay. Pick up the tools of your work and begin to do just a little creative play. Soon, the fame drug should start to lessen its hold. The only cure for the fame drug is creative endeavor. Only when we are being joyfully creative can we release obsession with others and how they are doing. What a good essay. Fame and success are two different things. Success is self defined, fame is societal defined. Like society has defined that for you. That could be hitting some type of something under something list, right? That could be, I don't know. Even as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I'm really so detached from fame. My examples are not going to be great because I'm just like, these things are really not important to me. But looking for those titles that other people will recognize you for, those spaces where people are like, oh, we see you here. You're like top creative of the year or whatever. That's sweet. And it should be a cherry on top. It should not be the reason why you're doing the things that you're doing. I also believe that that's why we have a lot of corrupt energy in celebrities, because for some, not all, it was this need to feel seen, to be validated. I am amazing. You all need to know that I'm amazing. I got to show you I'm amazing. And now we have people doing weird things with their power, right? It's super important to be able to define success for yourself because that's what keeps you solid. It's what is going to level up your frequency and allow you to be amongst other people who also feel that way. And then when you happen to encounter people who do not feel that way about you, it's not going to shake all of who you are. Someone critiquing or reviewing your work and not enjoying it should not make you stop being an artist. If it is halting you in your tracks, if it's keeping you up at night, if it's on loop in your mind, you're dysregulated. Let's go get you regulated. Do some tapping or go to a professional. Okay. Have a conversation, heart to heart. Trauma informed therapist, please. Nothing less. Please, I beg of you. You're having a trauma response. Someone needs to be able to help you navigate through that. Have those moments. Excuse me. And then remember that you're an artist because you have art within you that needs to be shared. Not so that you can get on Forbes best list or whatever the case is. It is not as satisfying as you think it is. As someone who has been able to top a few different lists, I can't even tell you what those names were. I got the Nutters and I'm like, oh my God, that's so cool. Love that. I don't, me feeling satisfied, me feeling satiated, me getting excited about the work that I'm creating, that is success. The fact that I spend time going through my own social media because I love my messaging. I was telling my girlfriend this other day, I'm like, girl, like I be scrolling through my own shit. Because I'm just like, damn, girl, that was really insightful. Like, girl, you really, yes. I love those moments because I feel satisfied with my work. I'm not going through like, oh, that was such a weird moment. Like, oh, that was so, no. Like, I really was brave enough to hop on a camera in front of random people all over the world and share what's on my heart and like stand 10 toes down in it. And also be open to the fact that somebody might disagree with me or might help me see a perspective that I wasn't aware of or I didn't even know could be that way. You know what I mean? That is so healing. That to me feels successful. Having these heart to hearts with y'all, this feels like success. Being able to speak with clarity and to have other people from different walks of life, different backgrounds, be able to say, yes, and did you also think, y'all know I live for that. I love those experiences. Fame and success are different. And if you are reaching for fame, you are constantly going to allow people to play in your face about your art all the time, all the time. Because people who seek out fame, it's like the best way I can compare it is when you're a teacher and you first start teaching, especially with little kids, one of the best advice that teachers get, like the good teachers, is that children smell fear. They smell fear. They smell it. And if they smell fear on you, they will run your ass ragged. So you got to come into the classroom on the first day, like you're about that life, and you tend to have a smoother experience, right? It's the same thing when you're talking about fame. If people can smell the desperation of like, oh, you want to be famous so badly, they're going to misuse you. Especially if they know that you actually are super talented and they're like, oh, you don't even see how talented you are? I'm about to steal your word. What? I'm about to use your energy. I'm about to siphon from you because you don't even realize that you're a powerhouse. You're working around with all this power, not even properly using it. I see it though. I'm about to snatch cheese. And then we're wondering why we are in these situations. It's like, because you're probably not looking for success, you're looking for fame. And now that we have the vocabulary to differentiate the two of them, fame and success, I'm hoping that you'll be able to know the difference between those two and be able to say, like, right now, it seems like I'm really looking for fame, and that's not the path I want to go on. Let me pivot. And if you don't get that title, if you don't get that win, if you don't get that whatever it is, you're not going to feel less than because the success was in you going for something new, you exploring yourself. We were just talking about this with Maxim, where I'm like, whether I become Maxim's natural beauty or not is irrelevant to the fact that I'm a natural beauty. It's either Maxim gets it or don't. That's not my problem. I'm like, I don't need Maxim's name to validate me. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Super important. Okay. Let's see. Hi, Summer. Yes, what are those emojis? Too tiny on my iPad. Oh, I don't even know. I can't see them on here either. The point of the work is to work. Yes, yes, yes. See ya, see ya, see ya. Yes. Yes. Oh, oh. Thank you, Jack, for clarifying that. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Cool. So now we're on competition. And this is our last I'm really proud of us. I just want to say that. I'm really proud of us. Competition. This one was really, really good. And we're going to talk about some nuance in this too, because yeah, we'll talk about it. All right. Competition. You picked up a magazine and somebody you know has gone further, faster toward your dream, which is just not even a thing, by the way. But okay. Instead of saying that proves it can be done, your fear will say they will succeed instead of me. Competition is another society drug. When we focus on competition, we poison our own well, impede on our own progress. When we are ogling, when we are ogling the accomplishments of others, is it ogling or oogling, y'all? Please tell me. Is it whatever? When we are looking at the accomplishments of others, we take our eye away from our own. We take our eye away from our own. We ask ourselves the wrong questions, and those questions give us the wrong answers. Why do I have such rotten luck? Why did they get the said movie article play before I did? Is it because of sexism? Sometimes it is, by the way. Sometimes it could be because of systemic oppression and racism and classism. I don't want to negate that. And I feel like she does that a lot in this conversation. Sometimes it is that. And we're going to talk about how we can move through that in a little bit. But I just want to sometimes it is that. Okay. What's the use? What do I have to offer? We often ask these questions as we try to talk ourselves out of creating. Questions like these allow us to ignore more useful questions. Did I work on my play today? Did I make the deadline to mail it off where it needed to go? Have I done any networking on this behalf? These are the real questions, and focusing on them can be hard for us. No wonder it is tempting to take the first emotional drink. No wonder so many of us read People magazine, New York Times book review, and use them to wallow in a lot of unhealthy envy. We make excuses for our avoidance, excuses focused on others. Somebody else has probably said it, done it, thought it, and better. Besides, they have connections, a rich father, they belong to a sought after um, group, they slept their way to the top. Competition lies at the root of much creative blockage. As artists, we must go within. We must attend to what is in our inner guidance and what is nudging us toward it. We cannot afford to worry about what we cannot afford to worry about what is in or out. If it is too early or late for a piece of work, its time will come again. As artists, we cannot afford to think about who is getting ahead of us and how they don't deserve it. The desire to be better than can choke off the simple desire to just be. As artists, we cannot afford this thinking. It leads us away from our own voices and choices and into a defensive game that centers ourselves outside of ourselves and our sphere of influence. It asks us to define our own creativity in terms of someone else's. It asks us to define our own creativity in terms of someone else's. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad I said the word right. Love that. My mom would be proud. This right here, it asks us to define our own creativity in terms of someone else's. I don't know about you, but to me, that sounds insane. For me to compare my own creativity to someone else's creativity, it's just like, I guess my question is like, how? 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 It doesn't make any sense. It actually makes me think about when I was an art teacher in the Hamptons for a summer, and I was working with, like, really, really, like, legacy rich kids. Like, I was literally working with, like, the great-grandson of the Koch brothers, like, really disgustingly rich children, like, chaotically rich. And we were doing art. I was the art coordinator, for the summer. So we're doing art, things like that, and it was a very interesting experience because it was a very jarring experience. And we were doing art, and I was creating something, and I was like, "Okay, guys, you guys, this is like the prototype, do what you can." And when I say the meltdowns that these babies were having, like, "Why does it doesn't look like yours? I don't understand." I had to remind them, like, "You and I are 2 different people. We have 2 different skill sets, 2 different lives experience. I'm literally teaching you. Why would you need to have the same experience as a teacher? That doesn't that's not gonna make you feel good." I think for your age and for what you've been able to do, this is beautiful. And they were not hearing it. They were like, "Girl, it needs to look like yours." It's like, and I'm like, this is a lot. Because how are you going to get through life if you are constantly trying to be like everyone else? And then not just be like that, but you want to be better than other people. And you're not even considering yourself. You're actually so far removed from your desire. Do you even know what you want? Do you even know if you like this? Or is it just because it needs to look better than this other person's? That's what that reminds me of comparing creativity. It's like you're willing to forget yourself so that you also can be better than somebody else. Like, I don't know, something about that just feels like a misuse of energy to care so deeply for people you probably don't even know. People that don't even really care about your well-being like that. And then to compare yourself to them to the point where you forget yourself because you're so focused on being them and better. It is something that I'm not. I've told you guys this plenty of times. I'm not a competitive person, so a lot of things that come up with competition, I really do struggle to understand it. I'm not trying to be a dick about it. I'm not a competitive person. I've never been competitive, like, never. I have people who will literally tell you, like, in games if I lose, I'm like, "Oh my god, you did so good, ah," and they're like, "Girl, you just lost." I'm like, "Yeah, but, like, but you won, though." And I saw that win, yes. I'm always like that. I don't, like, it also be like, I don't think it's that serious. That also could be one of those things too. But even being in sports, like being in track, if I didn't come in first place, I was okay with it. It's probably why I'm not athletic now, because I think you need a certain level of drive. And I don't have that type of drive. But to compare and be competitive when you can just create has never made sense to me. Never. And I understand, it's like it helps you to grow and, like, strengthens you a bit. It helps you to strive for more, and I hear that, and I can see that makes sense for certain people, and then for those people that it doesn't make sense for, you could just create. Just create. Know yourself enough to know what you want to create, and then just focusing on that. You don't have to do what they're doing. You could just do what you want to do. But I do think that the issue with that is that a lot of people don't know what they wanna do. A lot of people are so far removed from their own desires, from their own pleasure and joy, right? Like we just spoke about in the other essay, they don't know what they want. So they then want other people's things. And that's just a waste of energy. It's a waste of energy and time. Like, no. If anything, someone else's artwork or creativity should inspire you to just be like, wow, that is something that can be done. That's dope. That's dope. But it shouldn't be like, "Damn, why her and not me?" I've never asked those. Like, I don't, it's not necessary. I just find that's genuinely a waste of your time, your energy, your comprehension, like, because 'cause you're never gonna really know why. You don't know what reason that person is favored. You don't know why they have that experience and you don't. And to take all that time being a detective trying to figure that shit out, all that energy could have been towards you and your creativity. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't do that. You're so talented, you're so incredible, brilliant. Like, you're fascinating all on your own. You don't really need other people to piggyback off of. You really don't. You truly do not. Especially if we're talking about like creativity. Let me see. Yep. Let me see. Summer. I love seeing your name, Summer. Um, yes, it asks us to define our own creativity in terms of someone else. Yes. Why would we be derivative or think of selves in reference for others to others? Yes, I agree. It's one of those things people say has been harmful about social media, comparing oneself unfavorably with the fortunes of people you see on social media. And it's so weird. I'm just like, when I'm on social media, first off, my feed is curated. So, nothing but the best of the best for me. Okay. But when I'm on there, it's exciting. Even on my Substack, first off, my Substack, ugh, mm, I live. I just get so, just thinking about now, I'm like, I can't wait to go and read like all my essays I have saved. I'm so excited. It's because I read things that expand my mind, my ability to think and comprehend, things that will kind of stretch things for me where I'm like, "Oh, I didn't look at it that way. That's actually really dope." That's why I highlight my favorite Substacks on my TikTok, because I want people to, like, check them out. I'm never thinking like, "Damn, Spoken Black Girl just dropped this dope thing and I didn't." No, it's like, "This was so dope. Like, let me go and leave a comment. Let me make sure I restack that because I just got fed from this person's creativity. They were so gracious enough to put together something that resonated with me. The least I could do is share it and put it out there." I feel like that should be what social media is about. Like, let's socialize with our creativity. Let's share these things, show you what's possible, show you that these things exist. That, hey, if you so wanted to do this, here's what it could look like. However, it's going to look distinctively different for you because you have a different skill set. You have a different life that you're experiencing. It's not going to be the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys are literally seeing me in real time, like comparing myself. I can't. I'm just like, logistically, it does not make sense to me. Even if we have similar upbringing, similar stories, the same damn star signs, it doesn't, we're going to find similarities in each other because we are human beings. We've all have experienced heartbreak. We've all experienced grief in some shape or form. We've all experienced joy in some shape or like there are things that weave us together because that's a part of the human experience. But also, you are a unique walking miracle. It took so much for you to exist. Why are you comparing yourself to another walking miracle? Y'all are miracles. Like what? It doesn't make that just doesn't connect for me at all. For me to get to where I am now, the life I've had to live, the things I've had to endure, the way I've had to grow, it would be useless for me to compare myself to another writer, to another reverend, to another metaphysical teacher, to another whatever the titles are. It would not make sense for me to do that because it would disregard and disrespect all that I had to endure to be who I am today. And I am not willing to do that for a random person online. I'm just not willing to do that. I have a deep sense of value and care for what life has given me to experience. Sometimes I always love it. I'm like, this was ghetto. I didn't enjoy that. But it allowed me to build more empathy, more compassion, XYZ. And for that reason, I'm not going to dishonor myself by being mad that I'm not where someone else is, knowing that we did not live the same life. And I would never want someone to see my life and what I'm living and do that to themselves. It would actually make me pretty sad to know that people would do that. I'd be very confused as to why, because if you sat with yourself and loved on yourself, and not like loved like in that cheesy way, but I'm saying like really loved what you were able to endure to get through and still be like, oh, I'm still here breathing, living, laughing. I'm doing all these things. I just don't think that you would want to be somebody else. I don't want to be anybody else. Even we would jokingly say like I would love to be born again as a blue ivy because that even like we joke as a people because we like to jokey joke, but in all honesty, I have met some incredible human beings, wonderful people, and if anything, they inspire me to find more of how they experience their divinity or their humanity within myself. So if somebody is like really into prayer or like they're going in on their prayer work, I'm just like, oh, I love that. I love this feeling that I'm getting from you. This is dope. Your devotion is beautiful. And then I might explore what my devotion looks like and see if I want to add on to it or shift it. But my devotion is still mine. Let me know if this makes sense because in my head, I really am trying. I'm trying to comprehend competition. Like if you watch the weeks, I struggle with the concept of I'm very honest about this. I really do. I've always struggled with it. So if it's not making sense, or if you have a better analogy or metaphor that you feel would better express what I'm saying or what you're getting from me, please feel free to drop it in the chat so I can read it out because I really do struggle with this concept. It doesn't really make this doesn't make sense to me. I don't think it ever really will, honestly. I'm not my design is not that way. Okay. Spoken Black girl, exactly. It's so important to have tunnel vision and focus on yourself and your creative vision. Comparison will slow you down. It really will, and unnecessarily so. Like it's just not needed. It's not needed. We are two different people, two different lives, two different experiences. Exactly, exactly, Jack. I agree, Eva. Less scrolling, more creating in all ways, from cooking to caring for yourself to making art and gardening and dancing. Yeah, living life. Yes, you gotta be one's own best friend. Agreed. Looking at someone else to understand self instead of in the mirror. And it's like, it could be like you could do both, right? I feel like you can spend time with yourself. You should spend time with yourself first and foremost. Let me clarify. Spend time with yourself first, for sure. And then as you are amongst other beings, and if there's something you see in them that is beautiful and you're like, wow, this really touched me, it's probably because it already lives within you and you're just sensing that's familiar. And all you really have to do is explore more of that within you. A lot of times that's what's coming up. And then that concept of, well, they have something that I have. They have this book deal that I really want a book deal, whatever it is. I always say, if I see someone have something that I have or that I want, I've always taken that as confirmation that is on the way to me. Because why else would you be in my face? Like, real talk. Like, why else would I be seeing this? Obviously, the universe agrees with me that this is a possibility. And for me, it's just clarity. Do I want this type of book deal or do I want this instead? I don't ever take it as in someone has taken something from me. You can't take nothing from me. First and foremost, I'm a giver. If I give you something that's for you to have, that's your business. I'm a creator. I can just create more. I'm never without. It's an endless flow of creativity over here. You can't take no ideas from me. You can't take no swag from me. You can't take no energy from me. If I give it to you, it is for you to have. You can't take shit from me. That's number one. I have that. That is such a bone deep belief for me. I can't be taken from. That's not even a That don't even make any sense. It's never that. However, if I see something, I'm like, oh, this is exactly what I was talking about. Now I can clarify if I like this or not. I always go into that. It is always that everything and everyone is working in favor of me and my highest good. Even if it means I have to learn a harder lesson or learn something in a way that's not comfortable, it is in favor of me. It's going to develop more empathy, more compassion. It's going to allow me to have more stamina, more endurance. It always benefits me. So if I have that belief and understanding, why would I need to do anything outside of me? Does that make sense? Like, this also coincides with having a healthy ego. You need a healthy ego. Like, if you're struggling with competition, it's probably because your ego is not healthy. And this actually reminds me of what I was reading in Women Who Run with the Wolves about the fact that there's dual nature in people, and we have the spirit and the ego, and how they need to be in divine union to be a complete person, which I think a lot of people don't talk about in spirituality. We're always saying the ego's the devil, it's terrible, all this bullshit. That's not true. You do need your ego. We've talked about this several times, but you need to be in divine union. And when you're in divine union, you're not having these desires. You're not looking at people as threats or as competition. You fully understand that you are creating your reality, co-creating with the ancestors, angels, universe, whatever you call on to in your time of need. Y'all are locked in. And there are going to be certain things that are required of you to move through the world. And when you have this desire come up in you that you want to experience something, the universe, source, whoever you call on to, will present it to you and be like, hey, do you like this? Do you want it in red or you want it in pink? Like, that's really all that it ever is. Especially when talking about our creative purpose, because nobody can do what you're doing. I'm not saying that in that cheesy, Les Brown kind of motivational speaking way. No, no one can be you. Nobody can be you. Even if somebody was to dress up exactly like me, use my vernacular, my hand gestures, uh, you're still not me. You still aren't me. You can never be me, and I can never be you. That is the beauty of humanity. That is where that respect for us being unique is important, as opposed to us leaning into individuality because we're so hyper focused on people not taking shit from us. You are unique. and you're a part of a collective. You can respect both. We gotta really lean into that dual nature. Yes, when I did this conversation. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The J-Lo. What did you not like about the track? Lotus, J. Oh, I see J-Lo, but it's J. It's Jack. Sorry. But I thought about J-Lo too, and I don't know why. Anyway, what did you like about the track? The running. Yeah, exactly. Like I have such respect for athletes. I can never express how much respect. My respect for athletes are up there with like my respect for mothers. Like it's like final boss energy. I also know my truth. Like I'm just that's just not where I'm that's not my ministry. I'm never gonna get there. And I'm okay. I'm okay with it. I'd much rather cheer you on. I'm an amazing great at that. Love you down. But that just drives me crazy. Yes, do your own thing. Time is short. You said it. Wow, I see stuff and I'm excited to see what's possible for any of us. Exactly. Exactly. Like I love that. The year Olandria is having, I love that for that girl. I'm like, yes, babe, you deserve. Chef's kiss, all the blessings. I'm not like, damn, well, why her, not me? Like, what? I don't know what she had to go through to receive those blessings. That's not my business. It's just not my business. I just got fed by what this person put together. Why wouldn't I share it? That's absolutely what social media can be. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Eva, I hype up a lot of brilliant Substackers because I like sharing good stuff. Yes, that's one thing about me, quality, baby. If I'm sharing it, best believe that I read it, that person is dope, and I stand behind them 10 toes down. Otherwise, I'm not sharing it. Um, Yes, it's a lot of meaning to me also because I know how much energy and caring it takes for them to do what they do. Exactly, Sierra. Thinking about how competition can be healthy. For example, being in competition with yourself to be your best self in a loving way. Yes, but that's the only example I can think of right now. Sierra, please give me more examples when you're ready, girl. Please, 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 please. I beg of you. I truly beg of you. I feel like you're also an athlete. I feel like we've talked about this. And if I'm wrong, correct me. But I feel like, because we've talked about this. We've talked about this. I'm not losing my yeah, we've talked about this. Because even with that, I'm like, I I feel like everybody has a different reason for how they move and how they navigate life, and I'm always gonna respect that. Just because I don't understand competition does not mean that it's invalid or that it's useless. And if that's how it's coming across, I wanna apologize and clarify, like, I just don't understand it. It hasn't worked in favor for me, so that's why I don't comprehend it. However, I have seen competition really allow people to soar. This depends on, like Sierra said, and doing it in a loving way, not because you are better than people and people are beneath you, or that they have something that you want and you want to take it from them, or because you need outside validation. None of that should be associated with competition. Unfortunately, it is severely associated with competition to the point where being competitive can make you hate the experience. Because if you don't win, and if you do win and you're not doing it from a loving place, you're actually a sore winner. And that's just like terrible. Because what? That doesn't make any sense, right? For me, when it comes to competing with myself, I have personally stopped that practice because it was part of like my healing journey. Competing with the older versions of me did more harm than good for me because it made me look at myself like, damn, there were spaces and times where I just did my best what I had. Like just that's just really what it was. And that's all that I'm going to allow it to be. When I when I think about competing with past versions of myself, so that I can get and become better, I'd much rather just think that we're all on the same team. Like young Lotus, Lotus of yesterday, Lotus tomorrow, same team, same all-star team, same all-star team. We're working in unison for the win, which is whatever my outcome in life and my contribution to art will be. That is how I see it for myself. Like, yeah, the person that I had to be for me to be who I am today, I wouldn't compete with. Like, warrior. The energy. I've told you guys plenty of times, I don't know how I got through my 20s because the level of intention and focus and ruthlessness and drive and the deep-seated desire to not die, like to literally not die to life, to die to self, to society, to death in all the ways it can be said. I am so much more tender than I was when I was younger. If I was who I am now when I was younger, I don't know if I would be able to be able to handle what I had to go through in life at all. So when I think about competing with an older version of myself, for me, it's just like, Shorty really did her big one already. Like she was already great, and she was great for who she needed to be in that time frame so that I can exist. I don't. I just let the goat retire. Let her be at peace. Let her coach me. But I don't. We're all teams. Me and my inner homegirls is all teams. Younger Lotus, teenage Lotus, inner child Lotus, crone Lotus, mother Lotus, um, sensual goddess, like all those versions of me, all those aspects of myself. It is me. It's just me. I don't, yeah. But I do have a deep respect for people who are able to still pull magic from that understanding of competition. I can respect something wholeheartedly and truly be like, I don't think that I'm equipped to be able to do that. But I respect people who do that. I feel like a person who does that really well is Beyonce. She constantly does that. And I mean, look at what she's bestowed upon all of us. Her like that, I see that there with her for certain. Venus Williams, same thing, like that competition with the older version of themselves and doing it in a, for what we know, obviously, in a loving way. That easily agreed. Please let me know if that made sense or if that was just like another rant, because it could have possibly been a rant. Okay. The spirit of what you are saying is so good and inspiring, Lotus. Thank you. It's easy to recognize your love of self and of others. I do. I genuinely do love other people. It's so funny because I don't really like people like that, but I do have a deep love for people. It's very fascinating in my mind. Um, spoken black girl, your creative expression will always be unique and worthy, whether it is praised by the public or not. Yeah, 100%. And also understanding time frame. I think we're going to talk about that in the next few paragraphs. But like sometimes your genius is like so far ahead of time that you may not even be around for the praise. I instantly think of Zora Neale Hurston. Like the level of gratitude so many of us have for her, just it is what it is right now because like she's not even alive. But her genius, her legacy lives on and on and on and on long after she has existed here. She's experiencing our praises as an ancestor. Her flowers are our internal garden. Sometimes that may be what that is for you. We don't know until we get there, right? But it's just like it may not be you getting your flowers in this moment. Though we're going to talk about instant gratification in a little bit because I do think that that's necessary, especially for Black women. However, it could be long after you are physically not here that people are able to connect the dots and be like, damn, that was brilliant. A lot of times, the Black sheep, the creative, we are like super far ahead of society. And it's going to take them time to catch up. That doesn't mean that what you were doing is not amazing or brilliant. Okay? Eva, absolutely. You can feel the passion and commitment to create and put it forth. Yes. Did anyone else screen freeze or just mine? I don't know. Are you still frozen? Let me know. Yes, it's already exists for you. Yes. When it touches deeply, it's like it's transmitted on a frequency. I am also on and receive. Yes. Oh, anyway. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you for being here with me. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, still frozen. Send you love. Hi, Carla. No, Carl's an athlete. Okay, okay. I'm getting people confused. Don't mind me. I feel competitive focus and creativity coming from a scarcity mindset perspective, oftentimes building us from a young age. Yeah. Hi, Carla. Yes. Comes to itself. Yeah. I remember. See, okay, I was right. Sierra is an athlete. I'll be knowing things, y'all. I'll be knowing. We're all on the same team. Yes. Yes, yes. Competing with myself always feels like hustle mode. I like the relay race metaphor of working together with your past self. Oh, I like that metaphor too. That sounds beautiful. Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, I feel like that's also what Sierra meant. Sierra, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like that's what you were also saying. Because that's still a form of competition, right? You are the expert in that field. Please, when you can, let us know. Um, yes, I was already Lotus was already an all-star. Yes, 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 yes. Hi, Rachel. No, you are right on time. You are literally right on time. Let's see. Um, ahead of your time, absolutely. Some never live to experience in the body, though I feel they are well aware later. Yeah, the more unique, the longer it could take. Oh, I agree with that. Carla, I'm literally texting your WhatsApp right now. Lotus, I feel like the competition with yourself is the kiss of death for strong score replacements. You know what? Right. Yeah. 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 Y'all know what my score replacements. I can't. Sometimes, like, I love my placements. Sometimes I be like, damn, it really is chaotic. It can be a little crazy up here. Yes. Okay. 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 Um, yes, yes, yes. We can, baby. I love this. I love you guys so much. I hope you win the cover girl competition, though. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Okay. Let's finish off so we can get into our EFT session because I feel like we're gonna really enjoy it. Yeah. Yeah. This compare and contrast fool of thinking may have its place for critics, but not for artists in the action of creation. Let the critics spot trends. Let reviewers concern themselves with what is in and what is not. Let the concern, let's concern ourselves first and foremost with what it is within us that is struggling to be born. When we compete with others, when we focus our creative concerns on the marketplace, when we are jostling with other artists in a creative foot race, this is the sprint mentally. Looking for the short term win, ignoring the long term gain, we short circuit the possibility of creative life led by our own lights. This is when I said I believe in instant and long term gratification. This is what I mean by that. You need instant gratification. I know that is very like controversial. I get a lot of flack for that as a practitioner. I said what I said. You need instant gratification. I want us to stop saying this or that and start saying yes and. Let's start having that limitless, abundant mindset. It does not have to be either or. It can be yes and. Yes, I'm doing this for long term gratification and I want instant gratification too. I want both. I want both. EFT is a really great example of what I mean by that because with EFT, you're getting instant gratification when you start tapping. You're going to instantly start feeling the relief. The more you do it, right? You're going to instantly start feeling like, ooh, I'm starting to feel like I can take deeper breaths. My mind's feel a little clearer. My body's less tense. That's instant gratification. A 5-minute session of EFT, you're going to feel something instantly. You need that, especially when you're doing you're living life and you have trauma that you're navigating. To think that you have to wait till the end of you understanding your trauma to then receive relief is inhumane, period. I don't want any of us have to go through that. It's not okay. And I don't know why we keep making that seem like it's a thing. It's like you can have both. You deserve to have both. It's not just one or the other. The more you do EFT, the longer you do it, the more you get from it. That's that long-term gratification of like now I'm more regulated day to day. If I get dysregulated, it's easy for me to snap back into it. I do a little tappy tap, I'm good to go. That's that long term. But the instant is deserving too. Because can you imagine dealing with a deep-seated trauma and having to wait years or months after therapy to finally find relief? I don't know about you, but me, I don't have endurance or stamina like that at all, whatsoever. Because I'm suffering and struggling that entire time before I get to that point. There has to be milestones. There has to be instant gratification. Otherwise, as a human being, I don't see how you plan on enduring unless you get into a very militant, robotic mindset, unless you start denying yourself your humanity and your human needs to feel good. Like, I don't want us to do that. So I hear what she's saying here, and I absolutely disagree, especially if you are a Black or brown body. You deserve instant gratification as well, not in in place of, but as well. You get to have that and more. I'm not doing things solely for long-term gratification. That is not the season that I'm in. I've not been in that season for a while. If it changes, I'll let you know. But for me, I need something right now too. Because life it can wear you out. It can be very exhausting. And you have to have something to look forward to that is not light years ahead of you. Instant gratification can look like having a really rough day at work and then being like, you know what? I'm gonna go get me my favorite cup of matcha. I need a little something, a little something sweet to sweeten up this moment. There's ancestral technology in a lot of the terms that we be talking about. Like that little something sweet. It's for a reason. It's because I deserve to have some type of gratification right the fuck now. So I'm having me a little something sweet, and I'm gonna continue on my journey. I'm gonna finish this work or whatever the case is. Or my gratification might be I'm gonna go and take me a nap. Usually your instant gratification is some form of self-care. If it is not a form of self-care, it probably is not instant gratification. It's probably some type of vice or block. And we already know how we can handle that because we talked about that earlier. But instant gratification is a must in wellness and living life and being a creative. It's a necessity. You need that as much as you need the long term. Okay? Just letting you know. So we can understand that because that I don't like that. I don't ever tell my clients stuff like that. I just feel like I'm that's just so sad. We can also do something right now so you can feel good. Or you can at least feel a percentage better. You might not feel 100% better, but you will feel better. Maybe it's 1%, maybe it's 2%. Instant gratification doesn't mean you're jumping to 100. It means that we're going percentage by percentage, but you will feel better. You will be able to level up in your own time and in your own pace. But to just assume that you can't have gratification until you get to your end goal I believe it is dangerous. And I would never ask people to do that at all. Okay. Let me read this so we can finish and I'll go to the comments. Okay. Whenever you're angered about someone else beating you out, remember this. The foot race mentally is always the ego's demand to be not just good, but also first and best. You guys know how I feel about ego. Just listen to what she's saying. It is the ego's demand that our work be totally original, as if a thing were possible. All work is influenced by other work. All people are influenced by other people. No man is an island, and no piece of art is a continent unto itself. When we respond to art, we are responding to its resonance in terms of our own experience. We seldom see anew in the sense of finding something utterly unfamiliar. Instead, we see an old in a new light. If the demand to be original still troubles you, remember this. We are the origin of our art, its homeland. Viewed this way, originality is a process of remaining true to ourselves. The spirit of competition, as opposed to the spirit of creation, often urges us to quickly winnow out whatever doesn't seem like a winning idea. This can be very dangerous. It can interfere with our ability to carry a project to term. A competitive force encourages snap judgments. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Does this project deserve to live? No, our unhealthy ego will say, if it is looking for the fail-safe, surefire project that is a winner at glance and for good. Many hits are sure. Many hits are sure things in retrospect. We were just talking about this. Until we know better, we call a great many creative swans ugly ducklings. We judge them like beauty pageant contestants, and in a glance, we may cut them down. And in us doing that, we let go of unseemly projects that could be our finest work. An act of art needs time to mature. Judged early, it may be judged incorrectly. Never ever judge a fledgling piece of work too quickly. Be willing to paint or write badly while your ego yelps resistance. Your bad writing may be the breakdown necessary for a shift in your style. Your lousy painting may be pointing you into a new direction. Art needs time to incubate, to sprawl a little, to be ungainly and mishap, and finally emerge as itself. The unhealthy ego hates this fact. It wants instant gratification and the addictive hit of an acknowledged win. The need to win now is a need to win approval from others. I don't necessarily agree with that when we're talking about instant gratification, and I explain why. As an antidote, we must learn to approve of ourselves. Showing up for the work is the win that matters. Okay? Showing up for the work is the win that matters. And also enjoying your life, enjoying your journey. Both things are important. This is where her and I, we won't be seeing eye to eye, like, girl, what the hell are you talking about? You need both. The work is gonna be beautiful and brilliant. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be great. You're gonna be pouring yourself into something that will last long after your body does. That is wonderful. And you should be able to have every right to enjoy the journey as well. Maybe not every moment. I'm not saying have a perfect journey where it's all rainbows and sunshine, but you should still have some rainbows and sunshine. It just shouldn't be a dark night of the soul and all of a sudden here's legacy work. Imagine that's your path every time you create art. That's probably why many of us don't consider ourselves to be artists and why we don't want to put on that title because it's like, I have to suffer immensely before I can put this out into the world. I don't want to do that every single time. I barely made it to the last Dark Night of the Soul. And you want me to do this again? I digress. I digress. This is how I really be talking to myself and my spirit team. I'm like, what are we doing here? What's happening? Let's convene because I want to understand why we feel like this is the journey I need to be on. Like walk me through your vision because I don't see it and I'm not gonna get on board. Help me. Help me help us. Okay? Okay, let me see. Checking in. It's all Scorpio signs. I love y'all. That's already a grind inside. Right. Yes. You need dopamine to do hard things. Yes. My brother from the bottom. I love this. Oh my gosh. I love you guys so much. I hope you guys like if you're watching the replay and listening to it, please come to the live. Like when I say it truly is just love, we just really be loving and kikiing and having these really divine, insightful conversations. I genuinely love this. I say it every live, but it's because I really do mean it. I just got super emotional now. Your words are a balm to me now, Lotus. Oh, Rachel, I'm so happy to hear that. Summer, I love your EFT, Lotus. Yay, I still do it daily on Insight Timer. I have set on my alarm. I got send y'all a email about Insight Timer. I'm not gonna do it here, but me and IT. But I'm happy that they did not take down the meditations because that would have pissed me off, and I probably made a very big public display of that because that is for people to tap into. I don't care if I make money off of that or not. I want y'all to have the resources. Um, Thank you, Jack. Summer Nights is powerful and moves me quickly. Oh, need to hear this. Thank you. You're welcome, Sierra. Carla, yes, ancestral technology ritual is literally about instant gratification to untether your spirit from the weight of the world. I have to read that again because that was something so freaking beautiful. Carla, mm, as my girlfriend says, my God today. Yes, ancestral technology. Ritual is literally about instant gratification to untether your spirit from the weight of the world. Ah, Shay. Oh my gosh. I need to screenshot that. I just need that in my life. Okay. I just need that in my life because that is literally absolutely. That's the best way I can explain instant gratification. And I didn't explain it. So shout out Carla because that was wonderful. Sarah, seriously, Lotus is right on the divine channel, really flowing. Thanks, Jack. Yes. Instant gratification is a colonial concept anyway. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Carla. Yes, we judge many creative swans as ugly ducklings. Never judge the art too quickly. That's a word. Yeah. It happens all the time when we get frustrated because we as creatives, we have like crazy vision and we tend to see the end result up here. And this is why I have the hi Rebecca. This is why I have the creative chakra code process, the method for us. Because when you understand what it takes to bring them to real life, like to physical life, someone else can also enjoy it outside of what you have in your head, it changed the game for you completely. Oh, mm, I just realized that my other phone is dying. Give me one take a second. So, yeah. Let's just suck in there. Okay, cool. Um, yes, you can trust the computer. Oh my God, this is not the time. Sorry, me and technology, y'all. We'll have a conversation about this one day because it's such an interesting experience. Okay. Hopefully you guys are good here. Okay. All right. That's what I was saying. When the creative shopper code, I truly am just a girl. Like, I know people don't like saying that and they feel like you're diminishing yourself by saying that. But sometimes I really am just a girl. Like sometimes I am. And I don't always be knowing what I'm doing. That also could be true. Okay. Creative chakra code. You have the seven primary chakras that are helping you channel out this idea that you received from the divine up here in the crown, and you got to bring it to the root. The root is symbolic of the earth, of what is tangible. And you're moving through the seven primary chakras to be able to see if you are ready to give this idea out to the world. Most times, we're trying to go from the divine download to giving it to people. And then we wonder why people don't understand the concept, why they're not tapping in, why they're not buying it, why they don't enjoy it. We start to feel resentful, like you guys don't see my vision. It's like, no, they actually don't see your vision because the vision wasn't given to them. It was given to you. Source gave you the vision because it knew that your vessel and your life experience and your skill set, your gifts, your talents, when woven together, will be able to bring it to fruition to where people would then be able to see it through your eyes. Does that make sense? So it's like we can't keep rushing that process. And the best way I can explain that is for me, it was through my Lotus Life deck. Oh my gosh. In the beginning, first of all, I didn't even want to share the Lotus Life deck. It was personally for me. And a few of my girlfriends were like, girl, this is an amazing concept. Like, please, give me the template. So I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. I get a template. They started using it, started manifesting like amazing opportunities and things like that. And like, this is great. You should share it with more people. So I started to do that. And I realized that I did it prematurely. I wasn't considering the fact that people don't have my life experience or my skill set or my understanding of metaphysics, none of these things. And I didn't explain that. So for like the first two or three iterations of the Lotus Life deck, some people did really well. And some people were just like, girl, this sounds good, but I just can't hold on. I don't understand it. And I felt conflicted because I'm like, oh my God, what am I not doing as a teacher too? Like I'm great at breaking down information for people, making it digestible. So I don't even know how I'm feeling you. It was so much to navigate through. Once I started going through the process and going through and being like, am I hitting these notes? Right? I see it up here. Can I see it for other people? You know what I'm saying? Like, can I vocalize it? Do I feel it in my heart? Like, this is heart led work. I had to go through all of my chakras. And then I realized that there were so many gaps that were missing and explain why people were having the experience they were having. Once I started filling in those spaces, I started getting testimonials where people are like, no, this makes sense. This works. And I've used this all the time. And the goal was to create a tool that people could use all the time to tap in and to reframe and rewire their brain and their life experience so they can be living out their dreams right now. That was the whole goal of the Lotus Life deck because that's what I was using it for me personally. I needed something to help me do that. And to go through that, a lot of time, there was like 2 years where I stopped because I'm just like, I don't think people are going to understand it. And it's because I was judging my work too quickly. I was judging my work way too quickly. I wasn't considering the fact that there may need to be education around how this happens because people may not know this is something that you can do. There may need to be education around it. People might assume it's just like a vision board. And like actually it's not just that. There's so much more to it. And in me respecting that, instead of judging my art so prematurely, I was able to then find the information needed to be able to say, here is what the experience can be like and look and feel like for you. And now people are like really, I can't wait for us to go through the Lost Life journey in January. I'm gonna do it from January to March. I'm excited. I think it's gonna be great for all of us, and we're gonna have a good time, and it's going to be something that will be life changing for us all because I have so much clarity around it. It's gonna be great. But I say all I have to say, don't judge your work so quickly, and don't get frustrated when people don't understand it off the bat. It doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong either. It just can mean that there needs to be more clarity involved because people are not living in your mind. They're not living in your genius. They don't have access to your skills and talents, babe. They're going to need time to adjust. Give them that time to adjust. Okay? Well, that's so true. I was just revisiting a piece and reflecting on this topic. Don't throw stuff away or disregard your gifts. Never. Agreed, agreed, agreed. Dark night of the soul every time. We would never last. Never. The anti-timer. It's both and. Also why many artists ended themselves. Yep, they feel they have to be tortured and not just enjoying the fruits of their labor. Yeah, I agree, Rachel. Lotus, where can we find this method? The creative chakra method, I put the outline of it in the after party notes. I want to say for six, week 6 or 5. It'll be in a subtitle. It's going to say creative chakra code, but it's there so you can start going through it. It's a method that I'm going to like flush out a bit more, but I wanted to give the outline first for people that like were ready to dive in. So it's there. It's really simple. I have been using this method longer than I had a name for it. It has literally helped me so much as someone who's multi-passionate, multi-hyphenate, multi-creative, knowing which ideas are ready to be birthed now, knowing which ideas are for me and which ideas I'm getting to give to others, game changer. Yes, creating is downloading and translating for others who didn't have the same experience and insight. Exactly, exactly. I see Evra. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, perfect. So we got through all 5 essays, and I love this for us. We're about to do our quick tapping session, and we're out of here. Okay. I love this for us. I was low key a little worried. I was like, I don't know if we're gonna be able to get through all of these essays, but man, look at God, look at the ancestors. They're like, we're gonna get you through. Don't worry about it. You just show up. You just show up. And that is what I did, and I'm so proud of myself because I was really like, I don't know how I'm gonna get through this. Sometimes you don't need to know how you gotta get through it, you just need to show up. And either you get through it now, or you get through it later, and be okay with that outcome. That's a little bonus. All right, tapping for those who have never tapped with me before. Welcome. I'm so happy you're here with me. Here's how it's going to go. We're going to do 2 rounds, negative round, positive round. The negative round, you're going to be saying statements that could feel negative, right? Could feel like, ooh, I don't like the way this feels for me. You're not claiming this over your life. If you want to learn more about what happens when you're tapping, I have an EFT masterclass. I feel like it's on my Substack. I feel like it's on my Substack. If it's not on my Substack, somebody tell me, but I feel like it's on my Substack. It's somewhere. I do have it. It's somewhere. It's on one of these platforms. But when we're doing EFT, when we're tapping, we're talking to the body. When we're tapping on these points, we're telling the body, hey, this thing I'm talking about, I don't really like the way it's making me feel. It's been staying with me for a little too long. Let's bring it to the forefront so that we can alchemize it. We can learn to accept it and move past it. So it's not driving me in my life, right? We know this. We do that, we empty out that space, we acknowledge our truths. Then in our second round, we'll do positive statements. And this is where we are filling in that emptiness that clarity. We just empty out that space. We're filling it in with statements that feel good, that are going to help us, that are going to rewire the brain to feel more supported and ushering us into a new timeline, a life experience where we're not held down by those traumatic feelings that we had. even if they still exist a little bit in the body, okay? The more you tap, the easier it is for you to transform and to alchemize. That's really important. The way that we're going to do this, we're going to use 10 tapping points. We have the side of hand, which is between the pinky knuckle bone and the wrist bone where my tattoo would be. You will lightly tap here. We have the top of the head where the crown chakra would be. You would tap there. We have the start of the brow on either side. Doesn't matter. You can use all the fingers, one finger, both sides, one side. Does not matter. You're still tapping to the same energy highway. Then you would trace your brow to the side of the eye on your ocular bone. You would tap there. Underneath the eye, still on the ocular bone, you're going to tap there. Not on the fleshy part because there are delicate capillaries here. We don't want them to bust. So underneath the eye on the ocular bone, then underneath the nose above the top lip, in the crease of our chin, you would feel for your collarbone, right where the shoulders are, underneath the collarbone, that fleshy area. It could feel a little tender for some of us. You're going to tap there. Then you bring both points to the center. You're going to tap on your heart space. This is where my necklaces are. Then you have underneath the arm. So you're going to go to the end of your armpit. If you wear a bra, be where your bra strap is, or the beginning of where your rib cage are on the side, tap there. You can do both sides, one side. It really doesn't matter. It's completely up to you. Okay. You don't have to remember the sequence at all because you're going to just watch me or you can listen to me and I'm going to walk you through it. Okay. There are different ways to tap. You can tap traditionally where you're lightly tapping with one or a few fingers. You can rub if that feels better for you. It's more soothing. You can pulse where you keep the hand to the body. Or you can hover where you're not tapping the body at all. People who are hypersensitive, I always suggest this. And then for those who have limited mobility, you can envision yourself. It does require more focus, but it does work. You can still tap into your energy highways. And as we're doing this, we're closing any gaps in our energy system. We're bringing everything together so the energy flows and you will feel better. That can look like yawning, burping, tearing up, getting hotter, getting cooler. Um, Sometimes like you'll get something in your throat, you want to like kind of like cough it up. That's there's different ways your body's going to express that the energy blocks are closed. It's for you and your body to know. Nothing is weird or abnormal. If you notice that nothing is happening, something is still happening below the surface. It just hasn't made it to the surface yet. So I would suggest continuing tapping, maybe doing another round or so, or continue weaving EFT into your daily practice so that you can become a bit more aligned so you can feel sensations because they do come up. Okay. And I want you to drink water before the first round and after the first round, and then at the end of the second round. I'm going to literally tell you when to do it. Water helps us to better process our emotions. It's the reason why water is symbolic of emotions. You need to be hydrated when you're doing somatic therapies. You have to stay hydrated when you're doing somatic therapies. Super important to be hydrated when you are doing somatic therapies. EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques. That means that you are freeing emotions. Sometimes the emotions are happy emotions, sometimes they're happy emotions. You need to make sure that you have the ability to let them be free without it causing you any type of harm. Water and being hydrated really does help. It sounds super simple, but water is ancient. It is the source of life. You do need water, okay? If you find that at any time you're tapping it, you feel overwhelmed, or you feel a little like this is too much for me, I want you to pause, take a nice deep breath, drink some water, and then I want you to hug yourself. This helps your body re regulate itself. And then if you want to continue on, you can. If not, you can just say the statements. All right. And I feel like we're good to go. Let's take our first sip. Yes, I'm sipping matcha, but don't worry about me. Okay. Don't worry about me. I have my water. I have my water because I have to. I'm drinking matcha right now, but I want you to drink some water. Let's go take our sip. Cheers for a successful session. We did so great. And for those that are like, girl, what? My matcha has coconut water in it. I am hydrating. Okay. All right. Let's do it. I want you to repeat after me. Your voice is medicine. Act like you know. All right. Let's start. Side of hand. Lightly tap. Take a nice deep inhale. Breathe in. Slow exhale. Let go. I want you to repeat after me. Ready? Even though I feel pressure to prove myself and keep up with others, I'm open to acknowledging what this pressure has been costing me. So I'm going to move, keep tapping. I'm going to move this so that my legs are a bit more comfortable. Okay. We're going to move to the top of the head. I carry this belief that I need to rush, compete, or perform in order to be taken seriously as an artist. Brow. I notice how comparison makes me doubt my own timing, my own voice, and my own worth. Side of the eye. And I feel afraid that if I slow down or rest, I will fall behind or be forgotten. Under the eye. I carry all this stress around, wanting to be successful, visible, and whether I'm doing enough. On the nose, I feel tension around the idea that I need external validation to prove that my work matters. Chin. I hold frustration about systems that make this harder, including racism, sexism, classism, and all of these other barriers. Collarbone. I feel tired of carrying around all this pressure, all this expectation, while still trying to be creative. Heart. I notice how often I abandon myself in the process of trying to succeed in society. Under the arm. I acknowledge that this way of creating has never felt safe and will not sustain me. I want you to drop your hands by your side. Take a nice deep inhale, breathing in to the lower belly, expanding that breath to the lower back, letting it come up into the heart space. Open up the shoulders. Exhale, release. Let go. Take another deep inhale if that feels good for you in this moment. Then let go. Soften into the body a bit more. And go ahead and take your second sip of water. Okay. Don't worry about what I'm doing. I'm just modeling behavior. Now I'm going to get into the positive realm. Okay. It's totally normal that after tapping the negative round, you feel like a little low, like, oh God, what was that? Totally fine. Nothing to worry about. It's those feelings coming up to the forefront. This is what it feels like when those emotions are freed. Now that we've freed them to the best of our ability, we're going to go ahead and fortify our new space with something that feels better, more nourishing to our spirit and our creative work. All right. Tap here. Take a nice deep inhale, breathe in. Slow exhale, let go. Drop your shoulders, relax your face, and repeat after me. Even with all of this, I'm open to choosing a more protective, patient, and loving relationship with my creativity. I'm going to say that one more time. Even with all of this, I'm open to choosing a more protective, patient, and loving relationship with my creativity. Top of the head. I remind myself that I'm an artist because I create. not because I can compete. Brow. I am allowed to move at my own pace and honor the season I'm in. Side of eye. I release the belief that I need to be the best in order to be worthy. Under the eye. I remember that doing my best looks different from time to time. And that's never a failure. Under the nose. I trust that my connection to source, intuition, and imagination is more than enough to guide me. Chin. I allow success to be something I define internally, not something decided by external approval. Collarbone. I strengthen my boundaries so my creativity can feel safe, nourished, and protected. Heart. I choose patience, care, and love for what my creativity is becoming. Under the arm, I honor myself as a creator, as an artist, and I trust that my art can be shaped. I trust that my art can shape a life that feels deeply meaningful and true to me. I want you to take your hands, place them on your heart space. Take a nice deep inhale, breathing in. You can close your eyes if that feels good, or just soften your gaze inward. And then on that exhale, bring a smile to your face, soften your shoulders, and just sit with that for a moment. You took the time to honor yourself as a creator, as an artist, to fortify that sense of trust and your intuition and your imagination and your art, that you have the ability to shape how it is given to others and how you get to live your life. That's incredible. You are incredible. And it will be exactly what you design it to be. Deep inhale, breathing in. Slow exhale, letting go. And then when you're done, take that final sip of your water and let me know how you're feeling below. Cute, cute, cute. I love this for us. I hope you're feeling a lot better. And even if it's just 1%, that's still good. Okay. But I feel like it should be more than 1%. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But I know collective healing is really powerful. And that's exactly what we did here today. This was so much fun. We just finished week 10. Like, we're almost done. I love this for us. Okay. I will be dropping the task in there along with the workaholic quiz. I'm probably gonna do a screenshot of everything because typing everything out by hand, sometimes I'd be like, I have other essays to write, y'all. So for the free notes, you might get some pictures along with that. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be all right. And the after party notes, I can then focus my energy on a little bit more. And that we'll be talking about the metaphysical aspects of these topics, how we can weave dark feminine energy into that experience as well. It's gonna be a good time. And I love talking about stuff like that. The neuroscience aspects too, creme de la creme. Okay, you'll have your task in there. And then next week is recovering a sense of autonomy. Week 11. I hope to see you here. We're gonna have so much fun. Okay. Let me read this. I did the EFT today with my root and solar plexus chakra singing bowls. Oh my God, that sounds so good, Carla. I feel even clearer than usual. That is absolutely beautiful. We might have to like do a live together because I feel like, if this feels good for you, obviously, not me volunteering your talents and gifts, but we got to do something because I feel like that just seems incredible. Wow, I really needed to honor the season I'm in. Hit really hard. Oh, I'm so happy, Jack. I was smiling throughout all the positives. So good. Yay! Tears over here, so powerful. Yay, Sierra. Tears are a good sign. Tears are a good sign. I love that for us. As always, I absolutely adore spending my time with you. This is probably one of the best parts of my week, and I have pretty good weeks for the most part. Last week was kind of crazy, but we're not gonna get into that. I genuinely appreciate you for spending this amount of time with me, for allowing me to share my insights on these topics, for allowing me to read to you, and also for allowing me to experience your genius and your insights. I feel like I'm constantly always leaving this space feeling rejuvenated for the week, feeling prepared to move through what I'm going to go through. For those that have been asking, if you want to vote for me for Maxim's Natural Beauty Cover Girl, you're more than welcome to do that. I'm going to put the link back up on my Insight. No, that's why I'm thinking about Insight Timer. They're probably talking about me. I'm going to put it on my Instagram story. Why am I losing my sense of words? Instagram stories. Bear with me. What's going on? Am I trying to say a different message? Am I having a spiritual moment? I'll journal about it later. Instagram stories. I will put the link up there for you. So if you want to vote, you can. You can vote daily up until Tuesday. Tuesday, they'll let me know if I become a finalist or not. If I do, love that for us. If I don't, love that for us because it was a cute journey. And there are other things for me to be focusing in on too. Okay. Thank you for sharing the space with me. And I absolutely adore you. Yay. Yeah. Carla, reach out. Like, we got to set something up. I got to go through my emails too. I've really been behind on that. But again, I'm just one girl. I'm just one person. All right. I love you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I will see you next week. Next week, 12:15 Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to try to set the reminder on here. It's a part of my to-do for this week. If I don't get to it, I will still be here on Sunday, just so you know. And I'll send out the email when I go live. All right. Love you guys.